Before we get started, I always like to go into any questions and answers that you might have so we can just clear the floor, clear the air. If you have anything burning, I know we have some SB 803 questions I'd love to answer. So anything else? Any questions about the school, about the... Now is your great time to just put it out there. Anything at all? The room is silent. There are no questions. Here we go. Thank you.
Do we have a list, I guess, I know all of us are kind of burning up, about what's expected of this new 1,000-hour program, protocol of operations and theory hours?
Great question. So that's kind of a 4 or 5-part question. I'll try and answer it, and I'll come back and make sure that I got everything that was in your parameter there. There is a 1,000-hour program. As most of you know, SB 803 has changed the minimum requirement for cosmetology education in 2022. The minimum number of hours required is 1,000 versus the current 1,600. Every one of you that are with us will be, have signed on for that full 1,600-hour program and have the opportunity to finish that program in full, complete with the extra cutting, coloring, chemical treatments, hairstyling that that program includes. Though I can appreciate that many of you are burning to get out into the industry, that might be you, I don't know. And so you would like to complete at 1,000 hours and withdraw from the school. So what that would include is meeting with Mr. Fong to find out what that would be like financially. And of course, your contract would be adjusted, your tuition would be reduced according to the withdrawal policy. It turns out that it's kind of in your favor because that fourth payment period would be reduced greatly or eliminated. And Mr. Fong has all the financial details for that. Now, the state board is not entirely clear about whether you can take your state board exam if you complete only 1,000 hours and do not graduate from a 1,600-hour program that you enrolled in. Though they have said, if you submit your proof of training, and if you submit an official transcript, they will evaluate it to see if you qualify for taking that state board license exam. And I have for you here, we'll post it up here, the 1,000-hour curriculum requirement for 2022 from the state board. It's also what we will be offering as soon as we have their signatures from all the accrediting bodies. We probably won't be able to offer this till, I'm guessing, March. But we will keep people informed. If you withdraw at 1,000 hours, we are not allowed to provide you with a JD Academy certificate of completion. So that's the sad part for me, because you haven't completed the contract that you signed up for, and our accrediting body is saying they didn't complete, they have withdrawn. Though you can still go out into the workplace with a beautiful resume, and if you already have a connection in a salon, if you have a mentor, it could be a very good thing for you to withdraw at 1,000 hours, and we want to provide you with that opportunity if that is what you want to do. One thing that the state board has done is they have upped dramatically the amount of health and safety hours and disinfection sanitation hours that are required in the 1,000-hour program. Some of you have said, how am I going to get that extra education and be able to withdraw at 1,000 hours? Our answer is we are going to provide it to you as best we can. We have opened up, that is one of the reasons we opened up the Monday through Friday extra class this week and Monday through Thursday next week of 2 hours each for that health and safety program, which has in the past been sprinkled throughout your education. In 2022, we are going to close our salon and spa every Tuesday and Thursday to provide you with more health and safety, and theory 1 dedicated day. So you will have Tuesdays dedicated specifically to health and safety, rules and regulations, so that you can get that as soon as possible in your education. Did I answer your question? Okay, great. Thank you.
So with you closing down for Tuesday, Thursday, does that make both groups A and B in the salon Monday, Wednesday, Friday?
Correct. That is the plan today.
Yeah, because I'm like, is everyone going to fit?
We are going to work that out. We are also reducing the number of cosmetology students that we are taking in 2022 so that we can focus on quality and not quantity. We do have the other facility across the way that we can utilize should we have space needs. Yes, of course.
So I'm kind of already at 1,000. So say I get to about 1,400 and I want to withdraw. Is that a possibility too? Like I don't have to withdraw right after 1,000 or whatnot. It's like say when I feel comfortable and when I think I've reached my theory, I can kind of withdraw. Is that an okay option as well?
Every student here, thank you for asking that question. There is no particular time when you have to or can withdraw. You have the right to withdraw from the program at any time. Though, if you are a cosmetologist and you're considering withdrawing and going for your state board exam, I strongly encourage you to set up a meeting, if you haven't already, with Miss Kelsey, and she will print your progress report and we can let you know what our thoughts are and how we would like to get you the minimum of what is on here so that you have that opportunity. Will we be changing our curriculum plan to adjust just for those people? No. However, we will work with you as closely as possible to get you what you need to have the best opportunity to go to state board and request an exam. Financially, I would also ask that you meet with Mr. Fong because 1,400 hours might not be to your advantage. There may be a certain hour in there that would be better for you. Off the top of my head, I'm thinking 1,250, but I could be totally wrong. Any extra education is, of course, wonderful, in my opinion. But yes?
I had a question about, so where they have like chemical, we need 100 hours of chemical theories as well. So when we do like chemical perms, straighteners, color, bleach, all that, like, would that also add into our like, theory or transfer over in a way?
I cannot answer for the state board.
Okay.
However, I believe that your operations would be viewed, it's just my opinion, I can't say what sometimes they don't do what I think they will be doing, but it is my thought process that they will look at your operations as 1 for 1 hour. So if you have chemical treatments if you have 50 chemical treatments, and how many hours do we need in chemicals? We need 200, you have 150 hours of theory or vice versa. I believe they will put those together to analyze whether you qualify or not. Now I can't give you a JD Academy certificate, but you can still rely on us for a recommendation. So please know that we're not going to shun you if you decide to leave at 1,000 hours. We are going to congratulate you because you probably have a connection already in the salon world where you will be mentored. Another question I got in an email was, how will our operations be affected? Because I understand that the state board is not requiring the calculation of operations in the future. And that's a great question. For all of you who signed up with a progress report of needing so many operations, that stands for the education of JD Academy. I can't change it midstream. Though for those coming in 2022, we will be looking at hours. And we kind of do that now anyway, because as I mentioned with the operations, we really look at those as, If you did a hair lightener and you were working on it for 2 hours, we would say you did 2.
But if we're looking at it as hours, sorry.
Oh, thank you.
If we're looking at it as hours, we're not getting credit, like if a hair service, a specific service took us multiple hours, we're still only getting credit for one.
You can put, we
So
want to
that's
show,
per hour?
you can. Though, let me back up just a tiny bit. When you record that, and most people already are, so recording, like 4 operations for. So what we look at upstairs is if you were here, Miss D, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you were here for 5.5 hours, we want to see 5.5 hours worth of work on your operations sheet. So if you had an hour of theory, you probably did something else for 4 hours, and hopefully we're seeing 4 operations on there. The only exception in this year, not next year, will be different, but would be nails. Because if you did 20 nails, we want to see all the 20 nails. Now on the operation sheet, we do have to put only the number 1 next to the operation. So we would have hair lightener 1, hair lightener 1, because your teacher should be checking on you. And I'm sure she is. After each hour, she knows what you're doing. We want to see that. So if you ever get an email from me and it says, gosh, tell me how you did these operations. You did 72 operations in a 6-hour time. That's a slight exaggeration, but now you know why, because we have to justify to the state board how you accomplished what you accomplished in that period of time. Any other questions? Yes.
Any question? You said, just a follow-up, you said the salon and spa would be closed Tuesdays and Thursdays. Is that starting next year at a certain time? Because currently, for exhibitions, we in phase 2 take clients Tuesdays and Thursdays, but once we transfer to phase 3, we'll be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Does that mean phase 2 would also be taking clients with us as well?
That's a fabulous question. And this is all subject to change. Actually, taking clients every day of the week was my thought process before, and it's gotten a little intense. So I thanked everyone for allowing me to do that. But now we're going to go to something a little different in 22, and that is clients Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the salon, in the spa for spa clients. We are going to offer the Wednesday appointments to our phase 2s. Monday and Friday will be serviced by phase 3. Does that help? That gives you a little more time in phase 3 to work on that resume and your advanced modalities, and it gives phase 2 a little more time to get in all their theory, because every Tuesday is going to be health and safety. Are we okay? Awesome. Yes?
So, stating for the new curriculum, if we wanted to drop out at the 1,000 hours, and let's say for like hairstyling services, and it says like 200, minimum of 200 hours, if we're way over that, will they accommodate for that and like move certain hours to other places where we need it?
That's a great question, and I would ask to meet with you separately or have you meet with Miss D and Miss Kelsey, because especially for your situations over here as well, moving any operations or theory hours needs to be a decision by the person who's the head of the curriculum here, which would be Miss Kelsey. But Miss D helps with that, so she can communicate back and forth with her. There are some areas that, yes, we can absolutely, it's a no-brainer. There are others we have to think about. So I don't want to put a blanket on that. Questions over on this side. Estheticians, are you not wondering about GM Collins? Yes. GM Collins is a product line that we are bringing in 2022. It's very exciting. It's an upscale spa line. It has a lot of medicinal qualities to it, which is what attracted me to it. We are going to slowly introduce that into the school. There have been, I've received a couple of questions. Why do I have to buy a GM Collins kit and I already have a Dermalogica kit? You don't have to do that at all. We don't want you to have to spend any more money on your education than you've already spent in your contract. The GM Collins will slowly be brought in. It will start in phase 1 with Miss Maria's class. They will be getting the GM Collins kit instead of the Dermalogica kit. As we move through the spa, we will gradually be putting more GM Collins into the back bar. If you would like to learn about GM Collins, you absolutely can do that. And Miss Maria, Miss Teresa will be happy to share their wealth of knowledge with you. They did have a 2-day class specifically with that product company. So they'll be happy to, thank you so much. They'll be happy to share that information with you, and they can even probably offer you a tutoring session from 2:45 to 4:45 to bring you up to speed on it if you're interested. There was another question that GM Collins masks take longer to process. Will we get more operations for those? It's kind of a non-issue at this point because we won't be using their masks at this point. But I assure you that we want to give you credit for every single thing that you do in the school. We are not going to shortchange you of any operations or any hours. We're going to make sure that you earn them, of course, but we will not shortchange you. Anything else? We'll get to the fun part now. Yay. Okay, so we have, well, before we get to the fun part, I noticed that some of us are parking along the building in the back. We want to try and avoid that, please. Eventually, they will ticket and or tow your vehicle. Our owner of the building and property is not doing that at this point, but they will eventually. My concern for you is that when you park along that side of the building, the people are really, it's very difficult for them to park along the fence, and there's more spaces there. And then if they are already parked along that fence and they go to back out, the chances of them hitting your car are really great. So please, especially if they drive like I do, so please don't park there. I really would appreciate that very much. Yes?
So because there's a sign that says, it specifically says for JD Academy students, is there a way that you can identify all of us as students and then kind of give consequences for the people that aren't supposed to be parking back there? Because that's part of the difficulties for us parking back there is because there's other people that walk on that trail that park there and people from like the thrift shop and stuff like that. So it takes away from us being able to park back there.
I can totally appreciate what you're saying, and I hear what you're saying and the frustration there. We can also park across the way at the Paradiso Salon if you need a space, and there are no spaces all along the back and all along the fence. What I have found, however, is that there are lots of spaces, but we're still parked along the building. So that's my concern. If there's no spaces in the back or along the fence, and you need to park along the fence up towards the cleaners, then we need to do that. We can also, again, park across the street. To answer your question, can we ticket them? Can we monitor? The owner of the property is looking into that possibility, and stickers on cars. We've looked at a lot of different scenarios, and quite frankly, they're time consuming. They will require another level of monitoring that we personally are not capable of doing or interested in getting involved in, though the owner at some point may go to that. He's talked about that possibility. Thank you for asking that question. I appreciate that. And of course, if something happens to your car in the parking lot, then I need you to file your insurance claim with your company, and the parking lot doesn't belong to JD Academy, so it would be terrible if something happened to your car, because I would have to just ask you to contact the owner of the other vehicle, etc. I can't get involved in that. Okay, we have some exciting things in December coming up. We have Ugliest Sweater or Cutest Sweater Contest. Everybody knows about that. I think it's on the 22nd. Yes, 22nd. There will be prizes for that. Also, on the 23rd, we have your style contest. And classic Christmas movies is what all of you decided on. So that will be your theme. The school will be closed. You will be in groups of 4. I'm hoping this is not all new news to you. You'll be in groups of 4, and you'll have an opportunity all day to style one of the people in your group of 4. And we talked about prizes last night. They're really, really good. So you want to put forth your best effort, please. We are also planning to take a photo of the winner, and the group name will have their names on the bottom of the photo, and that will be a new piece of art for our school. So not only will you be receiving a great prize, but you'll be memorialized here, which I think is really fun because we'll get to display your work. So at this time, I'd like to give you, Kelsey tells me I must, give you a 10-minute break